What's up, guys? My name is Dom and welcome to Faith Family Homestead. I have a few things to do today, and that includes going out to the garden. But first, I have to feed my sourdough starter. I killed my last one, and so I started a new one, and I started this 2 days ago. And if you can see, it does have some air pockets in it. And it's starting to smell a little sour. It did rise to the top last night, and so I am going to discard and feed it again. If you can see in there, I also have some beans that I am going to be boiling for 30 minutes because I want to can those beans. And then in my roaster oven, I also have I had roasted 3 whole chickens 2 days ago, and I've been letting the bones and the skin and some carrots just simmer in here for the past 2 days. So I do want to get that canned as well. So I'll be canning chicken broth, I'll be canning beans. I don't know if I'll get that done on this video. I also want to make onion top pesto. The last time you saw me harvest onion tops, I did not. There was like a quarter of the bed that I did not get to harvest. So I want to get out there and do that today. But first things first, I have to feed the sourdough, discard some. I'm going to be adding it to this jar, just clean, because it did almost overflow out of this jar yesterday once I fed it. So we've been getting some eggs. So we have a blue, a green, and a brown one. Our chickens just started laying the past few weeks. Anyway, so I'm going to zero this out, and that's my kids in the background. And I'm going to measure out 113. So I went a little over. I got to 124 grams. So I'm just going to add the same amount of equal parts water, and I'm using bread flour. And I forgot to zero that out. So 124 times 2 is what? 248, I think. Okay, I added a little bit over, but it should be fine. And I'm just going to take this off and mix it all together. You can see it already has some bubbling going on. I tried to push it down as far as possible so that I can see when it rises. I'm put this lid on it, and I've just been sitting it on top of my espresso machine in the back right here, and I will just be watching it. Let me get this out. I can't do this one-handed, but I'm gonna just watch it and see when it rises, and I will be feeding it again before bed. Yesterday, my husband went to Home Depot and ordered us a new stove. We've been having trouble with our stove staying on and giving us all types of warnings like F9, F1, and it's a really old stove. It came with the house, and even though I wanted a stainless steel one since it was working, I didn't buy a new one. But since now it's not working, we went ahead and ordered a new one, but it's not going to be coming until like a month, so April 23rd. But in the meantime, I'm hoping that it would remain. It's really the oven. It sometimes locks our food in there, or if we're baking, it's beeping and turning off, so not really good. But I do want to get some bread going. I started back up my kombucha on Sunday. You can see it has the bubbles forming. So I am going to be trying to start to do all of my things on Sunday, like my sourdough, my kombucha and my yogurt on Sundays, to prepare for the week. So I started that on Sunday. I'm about to break some more bread. I did bake bread on Sunday, and I'm going to bake some more because I only have a few slices left. Okay, so I let that knead in my KitchenAid for about 5 minutes, and now I'm just going to roll it into a ball and let this sit for an hour and rise. And I'm going to oil the bowl, the KitchenAid bowl, mixing bowl, and put it back in there and let this rise for an hour. Over here, I already drained the chicken broth, and that is all the bones and the carrots and stuff. That looks really dark. My beans have been boiling for 30 minutes, so I'm going to start filling the canning jars with those, and then the rest will be the chicken broth. Alright, so I got the pressure canner started. I added 2 jars of broth. That's the rest of the broth there. I was able to fit 7 cans of beans, and then the 2 cans of broth. I have a bunch of dishes. Right now I'm going to work on the loaf for the second rise. It has doubled, and so I'm going to flatten it out right here and then put it in this pan to rise again. Okay, so I have my bread in here, and it's going to rise to like about here before I put it in the oven. I asked my son to wash the dishes. My daughter is browning 3 pounds of beef. I have to let this vent for 10 minutes. So at 2 o'clock I'll be back to put my toggle or whatever it's called. But I'm gonna run outside real quick. I've been letting my plants hang out here. I've said that in a couple videos, but I forgot one day, and it got really hot, and it sun scalded some of my peppers, but they'll be fine. Hardening off plants is not my greatest strength. I forget about them. And yeah. Once again, it's super windy out here, but I want to show you this. Yesterday I saw that these turnips that survived the frost were eaten so bad, and when I flipped over the leaves, there were black caterpillars. I had my daughters remove them, so I don't think there shouldn't be. Oh, yep, they're right there. These little baby caterpillars eating my plants, so I'll have to tell my daughters to come back out here and pick those. So this is the bed that we harvested from, and as you can see, like these, they've fell over and grew quite a bit, and it's been so, look how long that one is. It's been so windy, so this is kind of the area right in here that I didn't get to harvest them. So they do need to be harvested because it's super windy and they're falling over prematurely. When your onions are ready, they will fall over, but they are not ready right now, and they're falling over just because of the wind. This is the basket. I feel like it could weigh about 3 pounds. I was not expecting this much onion tops. Let's get it in the house. Okay, I think I pretty much got every single one. I went back over and just made sure that there weren't any long ones that I missed that were dangling, and I think it's pretty good. We are back inside. I completely forgot I had bread rising in this, and it is completely to the top, and I forgot to preheat my oven or tell my kids to preheat the oven. So, oh, it's preheated. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and it's going to take about 30 minutes. And that is perfect because that is how much time my canner has. I had my son time it when he put the toggle thing on for 75 minutes, and then I just came back in here and he told me I had 35 minutes left. Now we're down to 31. My daughter finished this beef, and I have my onion, what are they called? Onion tops right here. So as you can see, some of these tops are dried and crispy. So I think what I'm going to have my daughter cut the tips off that look like this. And I'm going to be filling my canner with the broth. Or rather, I mean filling the jars with the broth so that when this is done, I can start on canning the broth. Okay, so this is where we are. We have 1, 2, 4, 6 cans of chicken broth, and then we have 3 cans of the ground beef, and I had this much left over chicken broth. I just reused a Prego can of spaghetti that we had the other night. That much is fat. That's crazy. And I just have this much left over. I'm gonna go pour this on my dog's food. I pulled the pressure canner off because the time ran out, and the bread just finished. I'm gonna let the bread sit here. I'm gonna rub it with butter and then let it cool down before I cut it. This is what the girls have done so far. That's all will go inside the worm composting bin. I realized that I was missing this clip, but you saw me take out all of the cans, and they're sitting here, and then I restocked the pressure canner, and so it has the beef and the broth in there, and I'm ready. I'm waiting for it to start moving gently, and then I'll start the timer again for 75 minutes. This is all the onion tops my girls have finished. I am going to try and make some onion top pesto. So I am going to be using Becky's recipe from Acre Homestead, and for one batch you need 6. I know I can easily get about 12 or even 18 cups of this, so I'm going to rough chop them and see how many cups of I can get, and then the rest I'm going to dehydrate. This is the onion top powder that I dehydrated the other day and roughly blended it in my Vitamix, and so I could easily, you know, get this jar full. Okay, so my girls and I were able to chop all of the onions, and I have it in this big size J. Morrell bowl. I can't do anything with that right now because I have to get to baseball, so I have to leave that here. For a second round of the pressure canner, I just pulled it away. The timer went off, so I am waiting for that nozzle to go down so that it can I can take off the toggle, or my husband can, because I'm going to leave, and then he'll take out all the rest of the cans and sit them right here, and we'll leave that to tomorrow. I'm gonna have to wait until either later tonight or tomorrow to finish the onion top pesto, and then I do have, like I said, a batch of onion tops dehydrating again. Alrighty, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys probably tomorrow.